Tinubu has demonstrated his influence and dedication to Nigerian politics through his unwavering commitment and active engagement in the political sphere. His remarkable impact was evident during the 2023 presidential election when he crisscrossed the entire nation, mobilizing millions of Nigerians, particularly the youth, in support of his father, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The success of his father's campaign was a testament to Seyi's exceptional political acumen and his ability to inspire and lead. As an active member of the All Progressive Congress (APC), a political party co-founded by his father, Seyi Tinubu has shown his commitment to the progress and development of Nigeria.
Hello. So, continuing the podcast we've been the topic we've been dealing with and we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks now about getting Nigeria in the right track and getting to elect the right sort of leaders that we need in the future, come 2027 and beyond. My starting with this intro is taking APC, taking Seyi Tinubu, because we know that the current government and the current governor's time is coming to an end in 2027. So there's been a lot of political power play happening right now in Lagos. So I thought it made sense to use this as a way to drive a point through. Now, in the previous podcast, we talked about making 2027 personal to us and using all the help that we need to render to make it easy for others to get either the PVC and to vote when the time comes, but early preparation in all. That's what we're trying to emphasize on. And recently, there's been a lot of power play happening, in Lagos State. Inner fights in APC, the House of Assembly, the current speaker, the former speaker getting impeached, and the new one coming in as well. And I think the sort of whisper is the fact that they're preparing the ground for Seyi Tinubu. Okay, they're preparing the ground for the guy. So everyone is looking forward to saying, "Oh, that's the crown prince of Lagos," if you may speak about it that way, of Lagos political system, where his father is the president, and then we're gonna be having a governor son. Okay, so and but again, it's seeming to look like it is something that people are already, agreeing that they want to see happen, or they have no choice. And it's like we've seen whatever is foisted on us is what we're going to have to accept in Lagos State, and that should not be, because if it's the vote of the people that counts. So if you remember in the previous podcast, I did a podcast about Seyi Tinubu, and I talked about how his biopics are properly done, and how they're trying to market into Lagosians and to Nigeria at large. But everything has been centered around a plan I think has been designed from years gone. Because if you ask me, there's no other way to say that somebody who at the time was in his tens and 20, early 20, not even up to 20 years at the time, when his father became governor. And the groundwork has been in preparation for so long. So you had Tinubu did 8 years, Fashola came, Ambode followed suit, he fell out of line, he got primaried, impeached, and lost his primary, and then you have someone who's been there all along. So it's like we're preparing the ground for somebody else. And with what is happening within Lagos State at the moment, is more or less everyone's saying, well, with INEC and all the rigging and all the fraud that happens and all the thugs that are busy hurting people just to get politicians into power by every means possible, there's no other way to stop it. But I have a different view. And this is where I want to crave your indulgence to watch these podcasts and listen to this podcast to the end. Now, if you remember, I said Obasa was impeached recently, right? Wasn't it? And he's come back into the country, and here's what he's saying.
As we speak, as for past my history, my position, and everything I think of. No experience as well. So I respect my colleagues in the Lagos State House of Assembly. They are my brothers, they are my sisters, they are my colleagues. I respect them, and I will continue to do that because I spent very most important of my life in that house. Anywhere you work for 20-something years, you cannot disregard and you cannot take for granted. I believe in removal. There is no impeachment in the assembly. You cannot impeach speaker. Probably there's a mistake from them. You can only remove one of these. You can only remove the speaker. And if you are going to remove, you must ensure you follow the rules of the law.
If you're going to remove the speaker, follow the rule of law. And this is not one thing we know our two major political party follows. The PDP, the APC never followed it. The rule of law is that one man to one vote. But what we find, I will show the evidence, the evidentiary proof all over the internet showing how ballot papers are either burned, snatched, people shot just so that they can rig elections. And an individual thumbprinting in the ballot paper for one party. The other cases where you have uh, um, thugs telling people not to vote for any other party, say for ABC in Lagos, because they've been mandated to say that and they have to do that. And they even threaten people. So far, it's giving to me that, and it's seeming to me that with all this impeachment that's happening and the groundwork being laid, and they trying to sell Seyi Tinubu to us, and as a candidate that is a viable candidate for Lagos, we're saying there are other political parties there. And this is why I am saying Peter Obi and his people need to come up with an idea of what they want to do and be quicker with it as well, because time is running. You have to deal with these things as a matter of urgency. The same thing applies to Shore as well. Nigeria is bigger than a single individual. And the reason why Nigeria is where it is at the moment is because individuals actually felt they were bigger than Nigeria. So they dictate uh, what Nigerians should do or what Nigeria should go. And that's where the problem really is. When we have the ones who are not unfit to become leaders, leading the people who are supposedly fit, what you're going to have is a sick nation. And that's what is happening to our infrastructure. It is sick. The hospitals are sick. The police station is ill equipped. The policeman is ill equipped to actually do the task he needs to do. And what you have is politicians choosing themselves and dictating to themselves who should be the next governor, the next senator, the next House of Rep member, statewide and federal-wise, and the next president. They come into a room, allocate themselves these relevance, and then they dictate to the nation where we need to go. And little wonder where we are right now. So what I'm trying to say basically is this, yeah? And I want you to hear me this way. If the groundwork for Seyi Tinubu is currently what is going on right now, if the groundwork is what is planned at the moment, initially what we had was Seyi Tinubu did his biopics. A couple of weeks later or something, the speaker impeached. This is not an accident. On the surface, what we've heard is that Abbas has been um, somebody who was possibly has terrorized his colleagues, and it's felt like he's now Lagos State. So somebody's actually showing power play here. But we are not interested in that. What we're interested in is how do we start to fix each of our states? Because you know what? If we start to fix the local government and fix the great state, we can fix the presidency and the federal. So if we take that idea and take Lagos State as a case study, for example, how possible it is to actually unseat APC in Lagos State. It's their biggest stronghold. And if you remember, during the 2023 presidential election, when it was announced that Tinubu lost, You can see the frantic nature which APC lawmakers started running outside to do community projects. And the current governor at the time recontesting started doing meet and greets. You can see that. You can, if you remember those videos, you would be like, yeah, this is possible. And I think that someone is only governor because all the machinations of thuggery, all the machinations of the state was used to actually suppress votes. Okay, so what we need to do is, I want to show you a stat, for example. Okay, because if we can start to do the work early enough, you would see that this is possible. Here is the stat. Okay, in Lagos State, that's still Obasa as the speaker, yeah? In Lagos State, APC won 572. This was the thousand. This was the presidential election, right? And PDP 75,000, Labour Party 582,000, and NNPP 8,000 roughly, yeah? This was what we had as the actual voters. But according to INEX, there were about 7 million registered voters in Lagos State. 7 million voters. What happened to about 1.5 million that either did not vote or whether some parts of them were disenfranchised? What happened to them? So if Lagosians can come out en masse, because we know Lagosians don't want Tinubu anymore. If Lagosians can come out en masse, meaning the numbers, we will be able to defeat APC 2027. That's why I said early preparation would give Nigeria the victory that we want, to start getting rid of our old politicians who have ruined the nation, who are employing every way possible they can to continue to ruin the nation. They employ thuggery, they employ, rigging, and they don't do that alone by themselves, by the way. They use the system to get it to work for them. That's what literally happens. So I'm saying to every single one of you, if we start early now, if we start now, start talking about this and start making this preparation. We cannot wait until 2026. We cannot wait until 2027. The year is fast running already. We're in the second month of the year. So what I'm basically saying to you is this: ask your neighbor if they have their PVCs. If they do not, help them register. Start discussing it, because we're all feeling the pinch of bad governance. Take an example here.
Hello, sir. This is everything they burnt. Look at, they came here, they burnt all our ballot papers, they burnt our ballot boxes. They first came this morning, they said, they came with thugs loyal to the All Progressive Congress. They came here, they said that if we do not vote for APC, no Lagos, no vote for us. Look at, they destroyed all the canopies, they chased down all the INEC officials. Look at people, different disenfranchised voters, all shouting and calling for their rights. All soldiers calling for their rights. Look at, see them, they're all calling for.
You can see that this is exactly what happened during the 2023 election. You know that time when that guy, whatever his name was talking about, if you're not from Lagos, you cannot vote because you're not from Lagos. Go to your village, go to the east where you're from. That's how they do it. There are myriads of videos like this where you have thugs loyal to APC, and this same thing happened in PDP anyway. So let's just, I'm not trying to limit this to APC, but the thing is this: APC is a party in power right now, and that's the party we have to defeat. That's the party in Nigeria. I'm not speaking on behalf of any political party. I'm not a member of any anyway. but I'm actually after the well-being of Nigeria and Nigerians at large. Do you understand? So, as you are watching these podcasts, I am trying to stir up in you a desire for the change that we need. And do not think for a second that this is about me supporting a party. I have no business supporting any political party. What I'm after is I want to support Nigeria. Nigeria is the key here. If we can get Nigeria to work for us, we will all be better tomorrow. I mean, just take a look at this.
If you don't be vote APC for a year, go your house. Nobody force you come here. Go house, so if I see you vote another, I will come look at. If I see you vote another party, go ahead our house. You don't come joke for a year.
You imagine that? Such audacity. We are meant to have policemen at each of these polling booths. Such audacity to tell people to go back home if they're not voting a particular political party. Do you understand what that literally means? It means that certain people have actually rigged their way into our system and they need that way to stay that way, and they will do everything possible to make sure the system remains that way. That's why Nigeria is not working for you. That's why it's not working for me. That's why we need to give it urgent attention where we can start to talk about it. I mean, recently, since I've been talking about the changes that we want to see, I've been talking about leaders. I've noticed recently, I mentioned in the last podcast as well, where I've started to see where people of night started talking about the sort of leaders that we want. We want people come up for, senators, local government chairman, commissioners, things like that. We want to see candidates that are relevant, that make sense. We can see their background history, where we can trace what they've done for Nigeria and for their communities, and we can say they can do better still here if we can elect them. And they can help move Nigeria forward. What we have at the moment is a president which we don't know his history, president who we cannot trace to what he did from the beginning, and we have politicians who are there because of their poverty. Just like Rotimi Amechi said, poverty brought him into politics. And guess what? It wasn't about you or his state. It was about him making sure that it gets him his tummy, because it was brought into politics because of his tummy anyway. But he needs to make sure his tummy is satisfied. So my point basically to every single one of you is this. At what point would it be enough, or would you get tired and say it's enough? Time to get all of our politicians who have, been ruining our nation, get them out of power. At what point? Now, I want to share this with you as well again.
Ó yẹ gbé báàgì náà ẹ gbé báàgì yẹn ẹ kó kíní tẹ̀tẹ̀ dání. Ó yẹ gbé dání ẹ gbé dání. Ó yẹ mú ballot paper nù kíní yẹn. Ẹ mú dání ẹ mú dání. Àwọn sọ̀rọ̀ lọ́wọ́ nù ẹ mú dání. Ẹ kó kókó. APC òkè ọdẹ. Àwọn àtúbọ̀ rẹ̀ ní sàárẹ̀. Ẹ sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ yá. Àwọn àtẹ APC ní sàárẹ̀.
Now, for those of you who don't understand what's going on here, this man was caught with ballot papers. So for those people who think that APC has been winning elections in the southwest, the right way, Obasa said earlier, he said, follow the right constitutional way. If you think that APC has been winning election constitutionally, you're joking. This is it. This is the rigging we're talking about. One man thumbprinting on so many ballot paper, and it was caught. And guess what? It was thumbprinting on APC. And I'm saying as well again, PDP did the same. Even in this Edo tribunal that's going on in Abuja at the moment, the both parties is exactly the same thing. There was gross vote buying, rigging all over the place. Numbers don't tally. So this brings me to the question now. I'm still putting these figures on so that we can start to target certain states where we know there's feasibility and there's discontent with that particular political party. One of those states is Lagos State. APC's strongest hold is in Lagos State. Their strongest base is in Lagos State. Get APC, get Lagos State, get Lagos State out of APC's hand, they're almost crumbling. There's a serious revenue gathering in Lagos State. So when you get that out of their hands, you're literally trying to crumble and cripple that particular that party. The same thing across the southwest states and go to the north. The same thing too. We can start to do. So I'm saying, if we get numbers out, if Nigerians can come out in their numbers, and please, I want you to remove from your mindset the idea that your vote don't count. Because if your vote don't count, they will not do all of this rigging. If your vote don't count, they will not bring that man, that woman, to rig elections. They will not burn your votes. So it's because your vote counts. That's why they're doing what they're doing. Do you understand? Your vote counts. And because your vote counts, they will do every single thing they want to do to make sure that your vote doesn't count. And one of those things is what I mentioned earlier. Thuggery. So whether it is Seyi Tinubu or Obasa, it doesn't matter to us. What matters to us here is, at the end of the day, what we want to see is a system that works. We want to get rid of this political party. It shouldn't matter to us as Nigerians. It shouldn't matter to us as Lagosians. What we want to see is we want Nigeria to work for all of us. So we don't care whether or not it's Seyi Tinubu. We don't care whether or not it's Obasa. We don't care whatever the candidate is APC is fielding. We don't care. What we care for is, how do we unseat this political power that's ruined Nigeria, together with what PDP did prior to APC getting into power some 10 years ago out of office. Because APC, for me, is a cancer. I didn't say that. Wike said it. And he himself has become cancerous because he's become one of them too. So in view of what we've been trying to say so far, I'm still enjoining all of you to, start this canvassing, start this awareness. Join me in this conversation, because we are all going to suffer for it if this government continues after 2027. We're going to suffer for it. Don't think that because you're in the diaspora, it doesn't matter to you. Don't think because you're in the village, it doesn't matter to you. We're all going to suffer it because you have siblings, you have brothers and sisters and mothers and fathers on the street of Nigeria. And there's insecurity all over the nation. There is poverty all over the nation. There's corruption all over the nation. Our judicial system doesn't work. Literally, let me just put that in context for you just so that you understand. Every facet of our society doesn't work. The one single thing that gives Nigeria the light around the world at the moment is our entertainment industry. It's one of the very few things that's the moment that's actually showcasing Nigeria to the rest of the world. Politically, we are bereft of good leadership. And as a result of that bad leadership that we have, our public sectors technically has failed. We don't have good roads. We don't have pipe-borne water. We don't have good hospitals. We don't have good schools. The graduates coming out of our universities these days can't even, write proper sentences. If you go and check it, you'll be shocked. People are studying engineering and never done anything practical before. And it's not their fault. It's just the system that has failed them. Our schools literally have failed because what? A politician steals whatever is meant to be used for public schools and then go invest it in the West. So I'm saying to all of you right now, it's about time to be urgent and take this thing seriously. Make it personal to you. Converse these kind of opinions with your friends and family members. And now start to look at the possibility. This is what this podcast today is all about. The possibility of unseating APC at the national level and at the state level. And we've just taken Lagos State as an example right now. There's no other final way to say it, no matter how much I try to tweak it or twist it. Nigeria is not in the right state. We cannot have the highest population in Africa and not be the biggest economy in Africa. With all the resources that we have, we got to fix our nation. We got to fix our schools. We got to fix our government. And the people that are running things at the moment are not good enough. There's gross misconduct, corruption all over the place. The roads are not fit for travel anymore. There's everyday people traveling on the road. There's death, accidents. Our military are not looked after the right way. And they're fighting insurgency all over the place, but they don't have the right equipment. That's a problem. The policeman is not well taken care of. He needs to put fuel in that vehicle that you want him to come and fight robbery with. Where's he going to get the money from? That vehicle needs to be serviced. Who's going to service it? Same thing for your custom officials. Same thing for the Navy, for the Army. So we need to look at it, we need an overhauling. And don't let me talk about our constitution and even our judicial system too as well. So that's why this is an urgent stuff. We need to be very critical about it and then take it personal. Nigeria needs our personal input. Again, if you just coming in contact with this podcast, with this content, I would say please like, share, subscribe. We try to put in something daily where we possibly can, but put your comment down below as well. Let us have this dialogue. Let's have this conversation. It's time. It's time to call it out the way we see it. When you see corruption, call it out. It's about time. If not, Nigeria will not be fit for purpose. If you think that's a joke, what is happening in the Northeast is just an intro. It's spreading slowly. What is happening in the Northeast of Nigeria is it's just spreading. The people in the South are feeling it. The people in the Eastern region are feeling it. People invading their homes and they're running away from their places. Don't think because it hasn't come close to you yet, you're immune to it. You don't want to wait until you become a victim of it. That's why we have to start today and demand from our government what we want to see. Once again, please like, share, subscribe, and put your comments down below. Let's discuss on how we can make Nigeria better. God bless you and catch you up later. Bye-bye.